Hello, namaste, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe even good evening in whichever part of the world you are joining us from. My name is Deepakar Khemani and I am one of the co-founders of Bloom. Bloom is the brainchild of Miss Payal Irani. Bloom is a flower that has blossomed and is spreading its fragrance across the globe. At Bloom, we are into physical and mental wellness, trainings, speaking engagements, and creating signature workshops for corporates and individuals desirous of going to the next level. Bloom has a powerful and a dynamic team which has been handpicked. They are the who's who in their respective domains and industry veterans, having 200 plus years of specializing in their own fields. We at Bloom strongly believe in co-creation, collaboration, and teamwork. I invite each and every one of you to be a part of Bloom, where together we grow, and as Bloom blossoms, it creates ripples the world over. Let me take this opportunity to introduce my co-host, Mr. K.V. Premraj. Premraj is also one of the co-founders of Bloom. He is a futurist. He speaks on leadership and employee engagement and management. He is the author of five best-selling books. And he just now mentioned that he is working on his sixth book. So congratulations and best wishes in advance to you, Premraj. We have a daring and a dynamic personality on our show as our guest today. I will ask Premraj to introduce her and take the session ahead. Over to you, Premraj.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you for that very, very flattering introduction. Today, we have on the show Helle Rosted. She was born in Copenhagen, Denmark. Currently, she is living in Belgium. She has been an entrepreneur in the beauty industry for the last 21 years. Here, she has helped and guided women not only to look good, but also to feel great and confident about themselves. This has turned her into a conscious self-love activator, mentor, and global speaker. She empowers women in business to master self-love by combining health, balance, and nature. Helle feels lack of self-love has led to pain, doubt, and self-sabotage in the lives of many women. Today, Helle will share her views on the importance of putting yourself first and how to take back your power. Welcome to the show, Helle.
Thank you so much, Premraj, and thank you so much for this nice introduction. It's a pleasure to be here on Bloom today.
So let's start the show. What exactly is conscious self-love and why is it important? Has there been an incident in your life that triggered this realization?
Well, first of all, I think that self-love is very important due to the fact that we start to live more and more outside ourselves. Everything that we do and everything that we want is outside. So we will always look for things externally. But all our experiences that we have, they actually happen within us. We feel them inside. So it's very important to be in tune with yourself and to go within. And I think that conscious self-love for me really means to have a safety basis where you feel safe, and not only safe, but if things happen in your life, you can always go back to that point and connect with your heart to feel at ease. So with shameless self-love or shameless self-love, conscious self-love to me is really balance, inner balance. And why is that important? It's important in any aspect of your life that you feel good about yourself and that you don't always have to look for validation from outside to feel good enough. When you know that you're good enough, nothing else matters. That is the reason, in my opinion, why we're here, to learn to understand ourselves and to feel strong, because you have to be strong to love yourself. Many people, they don't love themselves. And if we don't, we will be confused. And the third question that you asked me about what my experience is, of course, to want to explain and explore self-love, it started somewhere. And when I came into this world, I was not wanted at that moment. So I came actually at the wrong moment in time for my caretakers. So, you know, I always had to fight for being accepted. And it was a battle that I couldn't win. And I saw what happened to me, how hard it was. I started doubting myself. I started sabotaging myself. And it went on in my childhood and even very far into adult life. It doesn't mean that you feel bad about yourself continuously. You can still feel good about yourself and doubt yourself. And it's not so much a matter of what happened to you. What's important is how that you go on with it and how that you overcome the steps towards accepting yourself and feeling enough.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It feels very empowering to listen to your story as to how is it that from childhood, from not being a wanted child, how you suffered, carried into adulthood, and now you are empowering people. Now, can you let us know as to what led you to wanting to guide people towards self-empowerment?
Yes. Well, from a very young age, I always had a wish to be able to help others to feel great about themselves. And that wish never left me up until today. And more than 2 decades ago, I started, like you just mentioned before, in the beauty industry as an entrepreneur. And I very soon realized that we are always trying to mend on the outside what we lack on the inside. But it doesn't work like that. So I met many women and even men who wanted to look good. But in the conversations that I had with these customers, it became clear to me that so many people have lack of self-love and doubt and they're sabotaging themselves, even their plans, the way that they look. And I thought, you know, I can do something about this by helping people to feel strong by sharing what I did myself. And this was actually what happened. I became a sort of a mentor in this treatment of my treatments that I did. And it taught me a lot. And I was also searching myself always for ways how that I could feel better. And I would share that with my customers.
It's beautifully put, beautifully put. Thank you. You mentioned about self-love being your own responsibility.
Yeah.
Can you please explain or elaborate how is it that you feel self-love should be one's own responsibility?
Yes. When we come into this world, of course, we will be raised by someone, or hopefully our parents or some other caretakers. But at a certain extent, we are supposed to be grown-ups and we have to take over from there. And then life becomes our responsibility. And you know, how we live our life and how our perception of life is that will form the way that we go through life. So if we ignore the fact about how we feel, we will not evolve into feeling great. We will just go on with life. And I think it's your responsibility to feel good, to feel happy, and to be satisfied in your life. And I really see that as my responsibility. My health and the way I feel is based on the choices that I make. If I will eat unhealthy, I will not do exercise, and I'll not take care of me, how can I be happy? I don't think it is easy to feel good if you don't understand that this whole existence of you is your vehicle here in life, and you should really maintain it. I don't know if you remember, I wrote a blog a while ago and I shared it on LinkedIn. And the title, I believe, was Not Even Tesla Can Compare. And in this blog, I really explained this very clearly. You know, we have certain functions, but it should also be maintained and taken care of. And it's the same with the way that you feel. How do you think? And how do you digest your thoughts? What do you keep busy with? I think it's very important to be aware with what you expose yourself to in life in every single way.
That's nice. That's nice to hear. But then what is it that prevents many people from reaching this stage of realization?
I think that different aspects prevents people. First of all, if you want to feel good about yourself and get to know yourself, you really need to put in time. Just like if you want to meet new people and get to know them, you also have to invest time in these people. And in the world that we live today, everything is accessible within seconds. Just go on internet, you can have anything. But, you know, self-love and conscious self-love is a process. We go through transformations, and that can be hurtful. It's not easy. And I think many people, they would rather take a pill to feel good than getting to know themselves. Because second of all, who do we see if we look at ourselves? We all have personal traits that we like, but a lot of us have traits that we don't like. And do we really want to face them? I remember at one extent, I was a young girl, and I was looking at myself, and I found a couple of things about myself that I didn't like that much. But people would know me like that. And I thought I have to change this, because if I don't, it had to do with being stubborn and wanting to be right, which is both very related to lack of self-love. And I spent time really to go in to have a look, why do I act like that? Why is it that I want to be right all the time? And it took at least a year, I think, to work with this and really understand, okay, it doesn't need to be like that. But afterwards, I remember that I thought, I worked at myself, and now I bettered myself. And this feels so great to dare to say that I did something to me to match other people in a better way. And I think many people are afraid of looking at what they don't like about themselves, because we expect other people to look at us in a certain way. So I think that that is really one of, or two of the things which really work against people wanting to work at themselves, excuse me.
Yes, that's a lot of work that people need to do to reach the stage of realization. Thank you for sharing this insight with us. While doing some research for this interview, I read one of your blogs which mentioned how 6 colors can help you feel more confident, energized, and empowered. Can you briefly explain this theory of yours?
Yeah. Well, I think that we are surrounded by colors every day around us, but also inside of us. We know, for instance, that blood is red and lips are red. So we have colors within ourselves, the color of our hair, etc. But just think about a day where that you go outside and the sun is shining and you get these beautiful yellow rays onto you. I think it's very, very hard to be in a bad mood when you meet the sun. It will always make you happy in a way without you even interacting with it. And the same goes for green. If you go into the nature, studies has shown that it brings balance to you. And every single color, I believe, has an influence on us in a certain way. And I think if we really choose to work with color, and it's not just wearing color, it's also looking at colors, the impulses that these colors give to us, even in food. You can try to have a look yourself. You will have certain days where you really crave certain colors of food that can go on for 2 to 3 days. Then you will change and you will need another color. And if you are aware about this, you will know exactly what it is that you need at this moment in time in your life. And there are 2 colors which are very important to take notice of, and that's black and white. I know for years that I have been told if you are in the really hot sun, you should not wear black. You should wear white.
White.
And
Yeah.
why is that? That's to do with reflection. So when you wear white, you will push away the energy from you. But if you wear black, you will attract it. And this is also something to think about with the way that you dress. Because if you wear black, do you want to attract the energy from everything around you? Or do you want to expose, so you can work with colors in a very, how can you say, clever way? Do you want to expose today or do you want to attract? And that's what I wrote in this blog, and that's what I think is very interesting to look about colors.
Yes, yes, that was very, very interesting. And now that theory that you propound, where you have red, yellow, green, black, white, and all the colors coming together to really impact your life. It's
yeah, they
time
are
we try to
also
implement some of these
connected
things.
to our energy fields, our chakras. So, you know, if you look at our energy fields and you look at the rainbow, they are the exact same color in the exact same way. You can say that life is a coincidence. I really don't believe in coincidence. I think that everything is connected. And if we will still hold on to understanding that, we will make a lot of things more available to ourselves, even in a small way.
That's very, very true. And that's very, very Indian, because we have this concept of 7 chakras ruling your lives. And like you said, all the 7 colors of the rainbow come in that same line in the 7 chakras that we talk about in our Indian, the so-called Indian way of life. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. My last question to you before I hand it over to Deepak. Can you give us some concrete tips on how to achieve this state of conscious self-love?
Yes. I think that my first tip would be to be as interested in yourself as you would be in someone that you would fall in love with or really would want to get to know. Fall in love with yourself. There's so much in there. We are all so beautiful people with a lot of interesting features. So I think that's the first thing, be interested in you. And also I think we live online a lot today. everything is online. So we're constantly giving our attention away. Try not to be caught in the online circuit, because I think the more that we do, the more we are being lived. And also, I would say stop being critical and judgmental. Stop judging yourself. Have a look at how do you talk to yourself. Do you say, oh, I'm ugly or I'm silly, I don't know? No, change it and have a look at the nice things that you like about yourself and expand them and say, I'm wonderful, I'm enough, I'm lovable, I'm great. The more that you talk to yourself in that way, the more that you will start to create a vibe within yourself which is being respected. And isn't that what we all want? To be valued, loved, and respected. So I think if you change the way that you look at yourself, I think that would be my greatest message. Start looking at yourself in a way that you didn't do up until now.
That was beautifully put. Valued, loved, and respected.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to get in touch with Helle, I've put it on the chat.
Yeah.
The coordinates where you can get in touch with
me. I can also just say you can go to my website as well, and I have a free ebook, the roadmap. Oh, excuse me, it's not the roadmap. I have a course and an ebook, and the ebook is the fastest way to shameless self-love, and the free course is the roadmap to shameless self-love. So that they can download for free, and they can also, if anyone in the show would like, they can also book a free one-on-one call with me.
We'll do that. We'll publicize that. Now I request Deepak to take this forward.
Yeah.
Thank you, Premraj, and thank you, Helle, for that free one-on-one session which you have offered all our people who would be interested in. Thank you so much for that. So your background is the beauty industry. And we all know that today we are living in the social media, the Instagram generation. Everybody who isn't very happy with themselves, with their bodies, the way we are, is looking at others on Instagram, people, models who are flaunting their bodies and their biceps. How do you tell people like these who are always looking out to these people that you are enough, you are the best? Don't be like somebody else, be who you are. What is your message to these people?
I think I totally agree with what you're saying. And I think that the most important thing is to be aware of where you put your attention. How can it be that, this made an ideal of how we should look? We are all different. We are all unique. So, you can like to look at something, but why would you want to look like that? I would say, have a look at yourself. Every single one of us has something beautiful. If you would focus within yourself on that which is beautiful and value that, and learn to mask up that what you don't like about yourself. There's so much makeup today. There's so much tips on how you can dress. You can do a lot with what you already have in-house, you can say.
Yeah.
And I think if you would be interested in transforming your own beauty into a beautiful thing that you would like to look at, I think it would start there. I think it's an addiction to want to always look like something else. And like internet is also becoming an addiction for a lot of people.
Yeah.
We have been living separately for a long time. A lot of people are living alone. Yeah. So if you don't have someone to say, oh, you look good today or whatever, I understand that it can be difficult. But I really think you have to change your perception of what is real. Is it real what you see on Instagram, or is it real where you are right now?
Yeah.
I think connecting back into yourself and understanding that we don't live online. We live right here in this moment.
Yes. Yes. So very well said. We don't live online, we live here. This is our physical body, this is our emotional body, this is where we live in. So share with us one or two experiences of yours where you have connected with people, where you have, given them these ideas on how to love yourself, and their lives have changed for the better.
Well, of course, there are many, many different stories, and it can go. I had many years ago, I had a client of mine, and she is a real beauty. She always was, and she still is up until today. The only problem is that she couldn't see that. She didn't like her nose, she didn't like this. So there was everything about her was beautiful, but she was just seeing one thing, her nose.
Yeah.
And I actually taught her to look in the mirror, because how long do we look in the mirror every day? Maybe a couple of minutes when we brush our teeth,
Yes.
just for our hair.
Yes.
And what I did was I taught her to really take the mirror and look at herself. And I asked her not to look at her features. I asked, look into your eyes and connect. And have a look at yourself in the whole way, how you look, and start to feel what you feel when you look at yourself.
Yeah.
And then I taught her to find 3 things about herself that she liked. In the beginning, it was really difficult. She couldn't find one because she was only focusing on that one thing, which she didn't like, her nose. But gradually she learned to understand, okay, my eyes are really nice. Okay, so focus on your eyes if they're really nice. And I have a nice mouth. So she gradually started to see, oh, but if I would make my eyes up a little bit more so they would even be nicer than they are, and I would make my lips nice, then I don't even notice my nose anymore. So that is one thing which I have been teaching many people to do. Another thing, a friend of mine who is she's also a client, she's a very capable someone. She's a beautiful lady, she's a great mother. She looks good, everything. And she came to me recently and she said, my energy is so low, nothing works in my life. I don't feel good about myself. I'm not good. I don't succeed. So she was basically sabotaging herself in every single way. So I spoke with her and I said, the way that you feel at this moment is what you are sending out. So she noticed, even she has a business, she noticed that she lost a couple of contracts because the people didn't believe in her, was what she felt. But of course, you are in such a state at this moment that you don't believe in yourself at all. And that's what you're sending out. But if you don't believe in yourself, how can someone else? If you believe in yourself, and if you go so low that you will start sabotaging yourself, which we most probably all have done in our lives, you really need to stop right there and realize that our brain really loves to play games with us. Our brain really loves to confuse us, to make us feel small. And if you stop right there and just squeeze this little devil inside and say no more, and it's not easy, I understand, but if you don't, it's gonna take a run with you and you're not gonna come out of it.
Yes.
Because we do realize what we are doing, but if we don't stop it, it will just continue to go on. Yes. And we will make ourselves feel bad.
Yeah. You are from the fashion and the beauty industry, and nowadays, there are doctors who can give you the perfect nose, doctors can give you the perfect lips. They are now even talking about perfect butts and whatnot, So at what point does this stop? Isn't it the duty of the doctor who stands up and says, see, you have a perfect nose. This is what God gave you. Why do you want to fiddle with this? Or the doctor says, no, this is my job. She is a patient. She will feel better. Let me give her a perfect nose. How do you think on this? What's your views?
I'm very glad that you gave this question, because this is something that has been bothering me a little bit in my entire life in the beauty industry. Everything has a positive side and a negative side.
Negatives. Yes.
And I think that plastic surgery can be good if a client is in such a state that they really hate something so much that they can not get over it.
Yes.
I do believe that it can then change for the better in some extent.
Yes.
But the way that it is being used today, I don't agree with that for myself. I'm not for plastic surgery or injectables at all. I respect people who want it. But still, I had another interview a couple of weeks ago. I was on another platform, and no matter how much you decorate a Christmas tree, it will still be a tree.
Yes.
But you can decorate it so much that it's not nice anymore. And I think if you use plastic surgery in a way that it's a help to someone, it's okay. But when you use it to change a complete person into something else, I think it's not a good thing. I am also a face reader, and all features in our face are related to our organs and our body and our existence, but it is also related to our character. And when we mess with our face or our body with surgery, we change also the character. So, for instance, one thing that I have 2 children, and they are both born with very thick lips, which looks beautiful, but there can be also a couple of backsides with big lips. Big lips, they like to eat. So very often people who have big lips, they will gain weight easily. What do we see today is that many women, they really expand their lips with injectables.
Yeah.
And without thinking about the fact that you will start to eat more, you might be a little careful what that you do to your face, And so that's my vision on surgery. I think it's okay if you use it in very specific situations, but I don't think that you can be happy changing your outside. I think if you want to be happy, go and connect with your heart and speak to your heart and ask your heart with words, how are you doing today? I'm here now. I'm here for you. And I think that is where we need to be, not on the outside.
Wow, this is new to me. I mean, you said that there are features on our face which are internally connected to our bodies. Now I wonder, why do I always keep on putting weight? Because my lips are little full.
Well, maybe we can speak about that in another session, because that is a huge thing. And, every feature in our face has to do with our character.
Wow,
but
this
also,
this is something I'm hearing for the first time. Let me confess, I haven't heard this before.
Yeah, there's many books on this actually, and on face reading and on character. And there's a lot of lovely face readers out there. I know when I did the course myself, I think it's something which is very interesting, because it also gives an insight into why are you like you are. Which characters are you? Someone who is outspoken? Are you not? Everything is in the mouth, in our lips.
Yeah. Wow. So, Premraj, we should plan one session with Helle on that topic, on that subject. Yes.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, yeah. So, when you say self-love, how do you love yourself? One are these affirmations which you tell yourself. You look at yourself in the mirror and then you say, I like you, I love you. You are ready to accept who you are, the way you were born, the way you were made. But does self love also mean indulgence? Let me go and buy the branded foods and branded shoes and branded clothes, branded watches. Let's get a massage done at a fancy spa. Does that also fall under self love?
I would say that to me, self-love is not so much about only the way I look. In first and foremost, it is the balance within myself. How do we vibrate if we realize that 70% of our existence is water? We might go and interest ourselves a little bit more in the character of water and what happens with water. Because the same thing happens with us, with our thoughts. This water would get out of balance or into balance. So, loving yourself is a knowing. It is a knowing, it's a feeling of, I am enough. And it takes time to get there. I know that it does because I experienced it myself. But it's a combination also. How do you feed your body? What do you put into your body? Do you put a lot of food into your body, which takes a lot of energy for your body to get rid of? And how do you think? Do you think heavy or do you think light? So I think it is an overall self-maintenance and self-care, which I look at like self-love, because you cannot just go and dress nice and say, oh, I look great, I love myself. No, you don't. You like what you see in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's not about loving yourself. Loving yourself and conscious self-love means being conscious about how you treat yourself in every way. Do you get enough sleep? Do you compliment others? Are you nice to others? Are you nice to anyone? It's the whole picture. It's not just one thing.
Yeah. It's the whole package. It can't be just one thing, either this or that. During our conversation before we started, you told us that you are living closer to the forest, closer to nature, closer to the border of two, three countries. It clearly means you are away from the city. You are a little bit more closer to nature. Does that help? Does that help in becoming better, in loving yourself much better? The more you are connected with nature, walking on green grass, as you said, seeing the sun shine in the morning, going for a walk in the woods, anytime, is it clearly better than leading a highly stressful life in the city?
Well, yeah, here you have cities close by, but I'm not, I'm living like in a village. But when you ask me, do I use nature for self-love? Absolutely. I use trees especially. I have been educating myself on the Celtic trees. And in the past, the Celtic people, they used the trees for everything. They used the trees for predictions. They used the trees when did they have to plant crops, etc., etc. And I have used the power of trees and the symbols, because every tree has a symbol as well. And if you know which symbols to use, you don't even have to go into the forest. You can work with trees sitting right here. You can tap into the energy of a tree. And you can also meditate with the blueprint of a tree. So this is something that I'm also using in the future in my trainings as well, because it's very interesting how you can use trees. And you don't have to go and hug a tree. You can go and connect with the roots, because, we also walk on a planet, or on planet Earth. The trees, they have got deep, deep roots into the earth. But one of the biggest problems with humanity at the moment is that we are not rooted. If we speak about chakras before, our base chakra is one of the most important chakras to be connected with the earth that we live on, but also anxiety, eating disorder, etc., is all related to our base chakra. So when you ask me, is nature important? Absolutely. And I would say, if you want to love yourself, you should get to know more about how you can work with trees, because, you know, trees can even be a friend. They are also living, even they are not walking around. A tree is alive, and everything is energy. So you can tap into energy. And the more we understand that and get offline and get into the real stuff, you know, I think the happier we will be, because we simply seem to have forgotten how everything is just available to us all the time. And we just look at the moment at a screen, we look at a telephone most of the time, and we don't realize that we have to change something and get back into nature.
You know, we have to go out from online and get back into the real world, into the real earth, where you get grounded. I mean, the tree example was really, really fantastic. You know, even though the tree is there standing, its roots are there right inside underneath the ground. It is going deep down, and it is there, it is where it is connected with the earth, our planet where we are on. So before I open up to the audience who would like to ask you some questions, just a few pointers for somebody who's listening to you for the first time, who hasn't heard about self-love before. What are the 3, 4, 5 things you would ask them to do daily? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, first of all, again, feel yourself, connect with yourself. You know, even if you're just sitting like I'm sitting here now, you can feel your body. We all can. So if you can already feel your body, you must be alive, isn't it?
Yes.
So connect with that, what you feel, and become aware. What do you feel? How do you feel? And the second thing is, we think all the time. We love to think, don't we? And not necessarily positive thoughts.
Yes.
Become aware of your thoughts. Where are they going? Where do they take you? What do you need today? What do you need to be happy today? What do you need to feel good? I think that is what I would ask someone to do first. Become aware of what you feel. And then you can start with the visual part. Make a ritual of going to look in your mirror. And don't look at just what you see. Try to connect with yourself. Hello, hi, how are you? I'm in there.
Yes.
You know, you can really do, and it might sound really stupid to some people, but it's not, because it's about you. And you are here in this life for you, for no one else.
Yes.
Foremost, you are here for you and to connect with you. And if you look at people very often when they go to the end of their life on their last day, what are they saying? I should have done it differently. So why don't you start today? Do it differently now.
It is said, it is said that, you know, I mean, the body, your body is the only place where you are going to live for the rest of your life, you know.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It is important for you to be loving yourself, living a healthy life, living a stress-free life, being mentally very, very happy, connected, and loving yourself. It is these sort of people who till the last day of their lives live their lives fully. You know, they will never regret having wasted a day. They will say, I have lived my life fully. I have loved every day that I have lived. Thank you so much, Helle. At this point, I would like to open up the audience, ask them. Olga, if you would like to say something or ask a question, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Helle. It was very inspiring for me. I definitely have to read your blog about colors because now I have an urge to wear white clothes but have black purple hair. So I am going to read it when we finish. And I have to also confirm the feelings about color. If I have color for breakfast, it's completely different day. Yeah, it's wonderful start when I have red, green, white. It's great feeling. But if I can, I would love to have one question. Can you share with us your favorite routine or rituals you do to feel good, or what does help you if you have some self-doubts or you are nervous? How do you handle with this?
Well, I have a lot of rituals, and I'm actually planning to make them into a book one day, you know, to help others. When I'm nervous, like we all are from time to time, of course, yes, I will really be very aware of the way I breathe. And I think that breathing is the source of my life because that's the most important source. So if I try to get into breathing and just really get some oxygen into my body, it will always calm me down. So that is for when I'm nervous. I will use my breath to calm down. And I will also connect. I believe we are connected to source. I believe we are connected to the universe. I believe we're connected to everyone. And, you know, I will always tap into the feeling that I'm never alone. I'm always being taken care of because I feel that. So I think if you know that your breath can calm you, and you're always taken care of. Even if you think you're alone, you are not alone. I think if we look at any situation, every situation will always be solved one way or another. Nothing is left unsolved. So if we already know that, I think it's about trusting yourself. And if you can tap into the safety net of trust within yourself, it will already make you feel at ease. So I think that's my answer to that question. And if you talk about rituals, yeah, I will do a chakra reset every single day because if my energy field is not in tune, how can I feel good? I will not be in balance. I think we should do that, all of us. And there's one way, if we have the time, I'll just tell it because
yes, please go ahead. Yeah,
there's one very easy way how that you can reset your chakras, and I learned that when I did a healing course. So you can sit down or you can stand, and if you can imagine that you breathe in from up here, you will just take in a deep breath now. And you will let it go all the way through down and you will push it into the ground. So we'll do that now. On the out breath, you push it into the ground. You do that 5 times. We'll not do that 5 times now, but you can try it afterwards. After these 5 times, you will imagine that you are breathing from the ground upwards. So you will take it up to here and get it out of your crown. And you will do that equally 5 times. And you will really feel immediately a sort of relief. And I do that every single morning.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Helle.
Wonderful. Thank you, Olga, for asking that question. Ashokji, would you like to ask or share something?
Hi, good morning and good evening to all of you. Self-love is a very, very interesting topic, and probably we all know that what who we are from inside is what we reflect in the external reality, right?
Yes.
And especially in last 3-4 years, I have seen everybody in the world is bombarded with a lot of self-improvement knowledge. Even if you don't like it, you keep getting things in form of your WhatsApp. I have a simple question. I presume someone understands about self-love, but may not be able to practice, which could be a common question with many of us. Most of us have gone through our formal education in our universities and colleges, and then we become whatever we have to in our careers. Uh, we never learn these topics about self-love and managing your energy and law of attraction you spoke about. Actually, I'm going through your book as well when the discussion is going on. So I see a lot of people in the world. By the way, I am an executive coach as well, and I help people. I'm a corporate trainer and executive coach, and I help people improve or go to their next level in their career in the corporate ladder. Many people whom I meet, I notice that they are not integral to themselves. Integrity. Integrity would mean who I am from inside, and I am the same person outside. I don't expect things more from the external world than who I am inside. So I don't desire what I don't deserve, right? And I know very well what I deserve, right? So for example, if I am commanding, let's say, X dollar per hour in the external world, and but I am getting, let's say, 0.5x at this point of time, then instead of working on my desire, if I work on deserving, I would automatically command more money, because
Yes.
once I realize I deliver more value
Yes.
to anyone who is benefiting from my work, would give me more, obviously. And there is obviously there is a surrounded by the branding and the credibility and all that, right? So my simple question is, one of the simplest way of increasing the self-love is by just practicing integrity. I see so many people outside, they compromise their integrity so easily. For a very small gain, we compromise our integrity. And we know from inside that we are compromising at this point of time to get some external, undeserving, unaccounted value for which is coming out of the desire rather than deserving. So I did not hear this point in your discussion and when going through the book. I'm just thinking whether I'm aligned to what I'm my thoughts.
Well, to answer your question, I think, you know, we learn right from the beginning to put others before ourselves. And that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
You know, you should not love yourself, you should love other people. And you should, you know, you should be supportive of them. So when you have learned that all the way through childhood and actually even in adult life,
Yes.
it can be very, very difficult to change that. And I think that the best way that you can actually go back and understand that what is loving me, who am I? What I have used very often, and I still use that when I work with clients, is the inner child. So how does the inner child look? Did you ever see your inner child? Well, if you go back and you look at yourself when you were about 6, 7 years, when you remember how you looked and you see that playing child, we can all remember something from back then. And if you can visualize that part of you, that child, because many of us left that child back then. We didn't take it up until today.
Yeah.
And if you will connect with your inner child and take it into today, and this ways how you can do that physically.
Yeah.
You can imagine to take yourself on your lap and give yourself a hug, comfort yourself and love yourself and speak to yourself as a real person. And you know, when we have been hurt as children or even in adult life, we are always being hurt by someone who is acting out of the pain that they experience themselves.
Yes.
So we are all sort of victims of pain.
Yes.
And like I said with Premraj in the beginning, it's not what hurt you. It is what you do to overcome the pain. Because even if you had pain 10 years ago, someone cut your hand, you will look at the scar today. You will know it happened. You won't have the pain today.
Yes.
So I think it's very important not to go back into the pain, but really to see how can I connect with myself in such a way that I feel it? How can I connect with the small me and love me? I think I did that, and I think that maybe answers your question.
Yeah.
Just one another question. Your website name's shameless love, shameless self-love.
Yeah.
So the word shameless is primarily to attract attention or something else. It's more to kind of brutal self-love. That's what it indicates, or it has some deeper meaning.
No, actually, I changed it from shameless self-love to conscious self-love, because some people, they don't understand shameless. For some people, that is not a good word. And for other people, it's a good word. So, you know, I just thought, okay, I spoke with some people about it, and that's why I changed it. But still, my book and my course is called Shameless. And shameless to me is not a bad word if it's used in a positive context. If it's used in a negative context, it can be a pretty bad word, But really, when I called it shameless self-love, it just means it's not a shame to love yourself.
Yes. Well said, Helle, and thank you, Ashok, for asking that question. Yeah, it is 1:30 in the afternoon over here on a Sunday. We are nearing lunchtime. Helle has given us 1 hour of her Sunday early morning time to be on this show. I hand it over to Premraj for the official closing. Thank you, Helle, so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepak. Helle, thank you. Like Deepak said, sharing your morning with us and elaborating on self-love.
Yeah,
we take back tips on how to feel valued, loved, and respected. Thanks for giving us the exercise on resetting our chakras. We will follow it. We at Bloom look forward to more interactions with you. Thank you, Ashok, Olga, and Ratan for being part of this show. Brenda was there, she left some time ago. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, everyone, and God bless, and see you soon. Thank you, Helle. Thank you. God bless.
It was very nice. Thank you.